Piece of good news. No. Piece of great news. Dana White came out and he weighed in on Chimaev. And he said we are booking him for 2 fights. We're getting those worked out right now. He's going to fight here in Las Vegas. And then we're going to fly to Fight Island. And he's coming along. He's going to do 2 fights. Dana said, we're working for the Fight Island fight to be against Damian Maia. So there's a lot to unpack here, which is why I said good news and then great news, right? First off, good news, Chimaev update. Great. Damian Maia versus Chimaev. Please. Yes, please. By the way, is that the main event? Because I would really like to start breaking that fight down, but I really need to know if that's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. It changes the fight. Very exciting. Awesome. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. So I love the marketing of Chimaev, and Chimaev created this for himself. We talk about it all the time. How are you going to stand out and how are you going to be different? And if you think you're going to put on sunglasses and wear a bow tie to a press conference, that's Conor's gimmick. Get a different one. But it's tough. It's like music. There's only so many notes. So then you have to really sit down and think. It's called creative control. You have to have somebody within your camp, if it's not you. Right? It's like anything else in your camp. If you're great at it and you can do it, and Conor's a one-man band to use him by example, but if you don't have that skill, you got to go find somebody. Okay, great. There's people out there. There's writers out there. You might have to go find one. I only bring that to you to prove the point of creativity, and whoever would have seen this, of all the ways that you could possibly market, of all the things that you've seen done over time in the world of marketing that you're going to grab from any field and steal and make your own and bring, by example, to this sport. That one's never been done. The guy whose gimmick is, I fight 2 guys at once. It's just never been done. He went out and did it on Fight Island. He fought at 185 pounds, and I have the foggiest idea how 8 days later he dropped a weight class. I could accept it had he gone the other way, had it been the same weight class. But the fact that it was 2 different weight classes and he did the heavier one first and then went down, I don't know how he did that. Set that aside as well. It's now a gimmick that nobody else has. It's a gimmick that worked that nobody ever would have advised or predicted. It happened very organically, and to prove the fact that it worked is the promoter himself, Dana White, is now using it. I have to tell you, if without too much arrogance, I can personalize this, but I think I'm the only guy that's ever happened to. I don't know that anybody ever in the UFC's history has ever been booked for 2 fights at one time. It happened to me once. I had a fight coming up with Rashad Evans, but then I had to go to Brazil to do the Ultimate Fighter, which meant at the end of that I was going to fight Vanderlei. So I had two matches, and I never even realized that was a weird or unique thing. I was doing an interview with Frank Trigg. Frank's got a show, and Frank brought that up, and he goes, hey, dude, by the way, follow this sport pretty close. I've never seen anybody with 2 matches before. And he says, it seems as though you don't have a whole lot of pressure on yourself for the first one, knowing that you have a job, that you have something else to do. And I remember standing there, remember where we were, and I remember answering the question nice and smooth, but it had an effect on me. It did have an effect on me, what Frank was saying, because there was something, there's a real pressure in this sport. The number one thing you need to make sure that you do in this job is to have a job to go to tomorrow. It's the number one thing, and I think you guys can relate to that. Yeah, you want to do a good job today, and you got to make sure you can, above anything else that you do at your job today, you'd like to know that you can come back tomorrow to the same site at the same time, still have a job. So this one's no different, but when you do, think of it in the perspective that Trigg laid out for me, not have that pressure, does it change things? I'm not here to answer that question. I'm just here to present you with the question that now that's the spot that Chimaev's in. I don't think so. I think we're probably going down the wrong road here, but it is a very unique road. It is a very unique spot, particularly when of the 2 matches, Dana announced the second, which is Maia, which is a brick wall. but he hasn't matched the first yet. So let's say Chimaev goes and has this fight. I mean, don't forget, let's just say though, but he's already got Maia waiting for him. He's got the plane tickets booked. They're doing the COVID tests and all the things that are very real. It's very real. If that fight gets announced and that fight gets made and the posters go out, that fight's going to happen. What if Chimaev loses this one? Right? Pretty cool spot for Chimaev. He's still got something else to go and do. By the way, are we to interpret that if we're expecting that he's going to go face Demian Maia in a very high capacity, that he's going to have a favorable match in this one? I'll answer that question for you right now. No. There is no favorable match for Chimaev that will ever come up again. If you think that at Fight Island he had a favorable match, go ahead and make that argument. You might be right. I'm here to share with you it will never happen again. The word on Chimaev is out. The secret is out. The monster is now out of the closet. You are not going to get guys at 170 pounds to raise their hand and go, yeah, I'll go do it. You're going to have a guy that's going to say, I'll do it, but I think I can beat him. I'll take my opportunity. Nobody else wants it. I'm man enough to do it. I'll put it on the line. I've seen this guy. I know what I'm getting into, but you're going to have a stud that does that, period. It could be a stud who's a household name. It could be a stud that is still the monster in the closet like Chimaev was 8 weeks ago. I'm just sharing with you, it's a very cool spot in the world of marketing. Right when you think you've seen it all, something happens. And whoever would have thought they could make a name. We've seen close, right? Look at Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy ran with the gimmick of anyone, anywhere, anytime over 2 different weight classes. You call my phone number, I know a guy, and it worked. You will love Cowboy. Cowboy sells out arenas. And yeah, the punches and kicks are pretty cool, and he's awfully good at them, but there was something else there. There was something that he offered. There was a bravery that he offered that other people did not. Set him apart. Now you've got Chimaev doing the same thing. But not just call me when you need me. Call me twice. Excuse me. Call me once. Book me twice. It's never been done. It's never been done. And I'm into the gimmick. I'm into the whole thing. He deserves credit for it. Might have happened on accident. Don't care. See it. Identified it. Want you guys to recognize it.